Depending on who you ask, they'll tell you I'm a legend. From YO to the Veil to the Mongo spot on Creston. Always been 1,000, never ever been a lame. Lay a nigga down for these 3 letters on my chain.
Yo, what's shaking with it, man? This is your dog, J Hood and all that, and you are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Tales from the Hood vlog series, man. Go stream and download my brand new album entitled Cell, snatch up the Pesci trilogy 1 through 3, grab up that Best of Hood flashbacks from the block, and while you at it, download or stream that What If single. Everything is available right now on all digital streaming platforms, all right? Let's get right into it. So on today's episode, we're going to speak about the day that the police planted drugs on me after leaving the D-Block studio, all right? Let's get it. First of all, this ain't no Frank Lucas shit to this. Let me throw it out there, all right? All right, let's get into it. So during the early 2000s, Chevy Caprices were a thing in Yonkers, right? I mean, like, they were heavy. If you had a Caprice, you was one of them niggas, all right? So me and my crew had Caprices and shit. I had a cherry red Caprice, you know what I'm saying? I had some rims on the joint, and I had 2 18s in the trunk. Banging system. My nigga Black Sound had a white Chevy Caprice. Tinted out, you know what I'm saying? He had a system too. And I think my nigga AP, it was either AP or his cousin, had a black joint, black tints with rims on it. So, you know, these shits was hot in Yonkers because unfortunately, you know, the dope boys and shit used to be rolling around in Caprices too, around the hood. So them niggas made shit hot. So if you had a Caprice, you was like automatically on the radar for the boys and shit. So, all right, I just said that to put a little context behind the shit. So let's get into it. So one night, we in the D-Block studio. I forgot exactly what we was recording. I think it might have been, if it wasn't that somebody's getting robbed at this party, it was some freestyle. I forgot, but it was me and Sheik. Me and Sheik had did a freestyle, right? Shit was banging. Shit was fire. Everybody all hyped, you know what I mean, in the studio from laying a joint. So, you know, regular shit, man. Regular night. We all high and all that. Smoked out. Me, my nigga Fire, who else was it? Was it Black Sign? And was it AP? I don't know who it was, but I know for a fact it was me and Fire and two more of my niggas. I drove that night, so niggas got in my V. We leave the studio. Now, the studio was like in an industrial area. You know, the boys was always watching that shit anyway, just because of the location and shit. Like, it's a real like mafia type of vibe type of shit, if you know what I mean. Like, so you leave the studio, it's right near the U-Haul spot. You come up out the studio, it's another industrial building right across the street. You go down the block, literally 1 block down, it's a graveyard on the left. So you pass the graveyard, you go to the light, and then if you make another left at the light and then make a right, you got like this residential area. And then it's like this convent, church area type shit that basically runs the graveyard, right? So I go up the block from the studio. We don't notice that we being followed by the boys. So I cut and made a left near the residential area across the street from the graveyard by the convent. And I see the blue and whites. They creeping and shit, you know what I'm saying? So these niggas pull us over, like directly across the street from the graveyard. So we ain't sweating it. We like, man, if we got anything on us, a couple bags of weed or some shit like that, it wasn't that serious. So we wasn't really worried about nothing. So they pull us over and all that. Like 2 cops get out. Nigga came up to the driver's side. Yeah, you got anything on you? I'm like, nah. Like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And let me see your license, registration, and all that other bullshit. So I gave it to him, ran and shit. He came back. He was like, what about the rest of y'all? Y'all got anything on you? Everybody like, nah. He was like, you mind if we search you? Everybody get out the car. Everybody got out the car. They set us down like on a sidewalk and shit, on the curb. After he finished checking us, nobody had none and shit. So next thing I know, a detective car pull up. You know, motherfuckers was, when they went back to their whips, they was on their little walkie-talkies and shit like that. So I guess that was the time that they was calling the detective. So while we sitting on the sidewalk, the detectives come. They talking with the blue and whites. And then next thing you know, the detectives come up to us while we sitting down. They like, you guys said you didn't have nothing on you, right? We like, yeah. They're like, all right. So they left. They went towards the car, started searching the car and shit like that. Next thing you know, motherfuckers come back out with a Ziploc bag. I'm looking at my homie. You looking at me? We looking around at each other. They come back, like, yo, I thought you said you guys didn't have nothing. Like, we don't, man. He like, so what's this? Like, you had a bag with like 13 fucking dimes in the shit. He like, so what's this right here? I look. Said, it look like crack, man. What the fuck you mean, what is that, man? I know you ain't get that from my car. Where the fuck you got that shit from? He like, this was inside your car, sir. Thought you said you didn't have none. I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what type of games y'all playing, but didn't nobody had no drugs in my car, man. Like, y'all niggas on some silly shit. Motherfucker pulled me to the side. He like, come here, let me talk to you. He like, look, man, I know they're not your drugs. You know what I'm saying? I know they're not yours. We checked your record and all that shit, and we don't think that's you. We know who drugs it is. You know, just tell us that it was your homie right there from Mount Vernon, because they seen that my guy, Fire, was from Mount Vernon and shit. They're like, yo, we know it's the guy from Mount Vernon shit. Just go ahead and give him up, and you could go about your business and be on your way. I said, man, hell no. You sound crazy as hell, man. That shit ain't his. That shit ain't mine. That shit ain't nobody in his car, man. Nice try, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Man, all right, man. Play hardball if you want. Set me back on the sidewalk. They must have said the same shit to everybody that was sent down, because they pulled everyone to the side one by one. Shut us back down on the joint. Next thing I know, we all being handcuffed. Threw us in the car and shit. Brought us down to the station. Everybody in there. You know what I'm saying? And we in there probably for like 5 hours, man. You know what I'm saying? And while I'm in there, you had like 2, 3 dudes in there. You know, one dude was like, yo, son, ain't you hood? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, this shit crazy. He in there fake wilding anyway, making mad noise, irritating the cop and the holding joint at the precinct. He's like, yo, y'all niggas got your hood in here, man. That shit crazy, man. Y'all arresting rappers and shit. I'm like, this nigga out here making a big deal out of shit. Anyway, we ended up getting out like later on the next morning and shit. But what ended up happening from that shit is I had to go to court for like a whole, I say like a year and a couple months, just to get my name cleared from that shit, from them throwing fucking 13 dimes on us. It might have been 13 or 14 dimes. It was one of the two, but it wasn't nothing crazy, but it was crazy enough for us to be fucking going to court for a whole year and some change over that shit. And what ended up happening was the cops stopped coming to court, and the shit ended up getting thrown out. You feel me? But that's some Yonkers shit. If you're from Yonkers and it happens everywhere else in the streets too, motherfuckers be going through it. You know what I mean? So if you're a street nigga, guarantee you went through that at some point in your life anyway. So I needed to share that with you guys, because that was a story that happened to me coming up out the D-Block studio, and it's pretty interesting to say the least. Make sure you like this video, check out my last joint, check out the next one, subscribe to your boy channel, follow me on Instagram at RealJHood, and until next time, Tales from the Hood.